Hey everybody, today I've got an iPhone 10 with a cracked screen. This is a routine repair. I figured I'd just hop on here and show you full repair. Most of you guys see my quick 60-second repair videos on TikTok, but I figured, let me just show you the whole process. So for this iPhone 10, first we're going to start off, we're going to turn off the screen. Then we're going to grab our pentalobe screwdriver and unscrew the bottom two screws. After we remove those screws, we're going to grab our heat gun. I like using this one. And then we're going to heat up the edge of the screen until it's hot to the touch, so we can loosen up the adhesive underneath the screen just before we pry it up. And make sure to continuously move the heat gun and don't keep it in one spot for too long. Okay, that should be enough. And I'll go in here with my handy dandy pry tool that I've been using for almost 6 years. And I'm just gonna shove it right underneath the screen and hold it up with my nail as such. And then go through and cut the adhesive while also twisting up on the screen. Do one side, turn it around, go down the other side. And I like to grab it like this and just yank it out. Open it like a book this way. You don't want to open it too far because you don't want to tear the ear speaker cable. So once it's open, then we're going to get our tri-tip screwdriver. I'm going to take off these covers right here, these cable covers. So we're going to remove this cable cover right here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the battery. Some people like using tools. I like using my nails. If I can't get it with my nails, then I'll use a tool. So for example, right here, I'm going to need this tool. And by the way, I made this tool on my own. I 3D printed it. I added this angle just to make it easier. And right here under the ear speaker cable, there's a little bit of glue. So I just like turning on the heat gun on the low setting as I'm pulling it up. First, I want to disconnect it. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of heat. And there we go. Screen's off. Now, I think that the iPhone 10 screens are a lot easier to do than the previous generation because you don't have to transfer over a home button. It's just the ear speaker and the Face ID components. So up here, we're gonna continue using the tri-tip screwdriver. Remove this screw. Right here, I'm gonna grab my tweezer and take off this little covering. They're hiding this little screw right here, as if I don't know it's there. All right. Unplug that, or unscrew that. And the third one right here. So now there's some adhesive connecting the ear speaker to the cable. You want to be careful when you're pulling this up. I don't like to pull this up more than 90 degrees, just so I don't damage the cable. But next, what I do is, right here there are these components stuck inside this plastic retaining piece, and they're adhered in there slightly. So what I like to do is take, again, the low setting and just heat up the front. And that loosens it up, making it super easy to remove. Some people remove the entire plastic piece and transfer it over. I like to just remove the cable itself with the components, keep the plastic retaining piece in there. So then I'm going to take my plastic pry tool, get underneath this cable right here, and just very gently pry up while moving along. Right here, I'll grab this with my fingers, just pull it up like that, and there we go. Now it's free. Almost. There it is. All right, and now we're pretty much done with this screen other than reprogramming True Tone, but I'm gonna set this aside for now. Right here, I'm gonna grab my replacement screen. Ah, looks like the ice cream truck's back. I like to fix phones, to fix phones, to fix phones. I like to fix phones and hopefully get 1 million YouTube subscribers one day. Excuse me, I haven't had much sleep. So right here, I'm putting all the components back in their position and laying over the ear speaker right before I go ahead and screw it in. These screws are tiny, but thankfully I know them like the back of my hand. And the back of your head look ridiculous. Girl, what? Fast forward. So the only thing left for the screen now is reprogramming the new one. I like to use this Keon Lee programmer. This allows us to transfer over True Tone onto the new screen. On the iPhone 8 and up, if you want to keep True Tone on a screen replacement, you have to use this machine. So pretty much I just have to connect the old screen to this thing and read all the information. Once that has been read, plug in the new screen. And write it. And there we go. True Tone is now transferred over onto the new screen. Jeez, programming is really hard. Gosh, that was cringe. All right, so now the only thing left I have to do before I replace the screen is clean out the old water and dust resisting seal. I like to grab it with some tweezers and just pull up on it with my hand. Just take this old adhesive off. Anytime you remove a screen, you're gonna damage the water and dust resisting seal. And with my experience fixing phones about 6 years now, I see a lot of phones that have been previously repaired, and unfortunately, majority of the time, these technicians out there, they're not spending the extra 2-3 minutes to clean this out and replace it. And you know, I like to teach all my employees to treat each device as if it was your own. You know, if this was your phone, what would you do? Wouldn't you want the water and dust resisting seal on there? Exactly. So, you know, I started out, my first repair was my own phone. So I carried that level of care onto every other phone that I've touched. And honestly, I think it's a shame that the whole industry isn't like that. You know, and that just comes from being proud of your work and just being passionate about it. So I'm just missing one tool. I just need to grab it real quick. There it is. It's behind me. I like to use this metal pry tool to just scrape away at the old frame, or not the old frame, the dirty frame. Get all the dust and gunk out of there. Over the years, stuff is just bound to slip in through the cracks, so I like to scrape it off right before I replace the seal. Alright, I'm going to use my air gun. Here is the water and dust resisting seal. This is the only thing that makes your phone water and dust resistant. Not proof, resistant. A lot of people get those mixed up. Also, it doesn't help that the phone manufacturer, you know, tells you it can withstand a certain amount of depth for a certain amount of time. I mean, it can when it's new, but after that seal dries out 2-3 years later, it's not as effective. So I see all the time where people are like, oh, I don't know what happened, you know, I dunked it underwater to take a video like usual, and for some reason it got damaged. Isn't this supposed to be waterproof? I'm like, no, just water resistant and not forever. So be careful with that, guys. Just a little pro tip, guys and gals. So a lot of people have trouble putting these down. I like to just press it down. That way when I'm pulling it up, it doesn't come off with the adhesive cover. All right, then I'm just gonna grab this end, take off the first layer, and then take off the second layer. Once both layers have been removed, I'll plug this in. I like to plug this one in first. Actually, no, I like to plug this one in first. And this one. You feel it click, and you can also hear it. I like to just like hover it around until it drops in place. Once it drops in place and you can't hover anymore, that's when you press down. You hear that clicking noise. All right, last thing, I'll plug in the battery. And then before I seal this thing up and screw it down, I always like to turn it on and just test it out, make sure there aren't any defects in the part, and make sure that everything else is working fine. I don't have the customer's password, but they're waiting in my reception room. So I'm gonna go do a full diagnostic with them here in a sec. But so far it looks like the entire screen's working. So I'm gonna go ahead and seal this up. To do that, I'll grab this, put it back in its spot. So then I'll screw the cable covers back into their place. That way those cables don't come loose. And I'll put the screen into the frame, pressing it down into the seal and screwing the bottom two pentalobe screws into their place. All right, and there we go. That is a routine iPhone XS screen replacement. Let me know what you guys think of this video style. You know, this is new to me. This is kind of just like an experiment. So let me know what you guys think. If you'd like to see more, you know, quick, raw, unedited videos like this every day, let me know. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thank you so much. Make sure to like and subscribe and share. Thank you.